Well, good evening, Independence Mustang Wrestling fans. This is Jason Lang, and we are here at Wells Fargo Arena for the 2016 Class 2A State Wrestling Tournament. It's time to go for the individuals. Yesterday, Independence had a nice 5th place finish at the state duels, and right now we've got 8 mats going strong with Class 2A wrestlers. 106-pounders and 113-pounders are on the mats right now, making progress towards 138 pounds for Independence. Sorry for the little delay getting online here, but had a few difficulties we had to deal with really quickly before we could get on the air. So I welcome everybody here tonight. Appreciative that we've got fans out there listening to us and keeping track of our Independence Wrestling program. We have some sponsors I'd like to thank tonight. We have Adams Family Furniture, Bachman Tool and Die, Bank Iowa, Bill's Pizza and Smokehouse, Eschen Tarpey Napa, Kegler and Aaron, Mary's Flower Patch and Gifts, Medical Associates of Independence, Ole Iowa Realty, Real Estate and Insurance, Security State Bank, Smith D&L Insurance, Dennis and Rusty Donnelly, and Wapsie Valley Creamery. So thanks a lot to those sponsors, and I'd like to thank 95.3 KQMG for being on board with us again here tonight. We're going to get this first round of wrestling, and then later on in this session, we'll also have, if one of our wrestlers would happen to lose, they'll have a second match in the first round of Consolation. So that's what we're here for tonight. We're here to watch our 5 independent state qualifiers step out onto the mat, and let's hope they can all move forward here tonight and get it all done right away at the beginning. So our 5 wrestlers, starting out at 138 pounds, we have Drew Davis. And Drew Davis's first round match will be against Tanner Abbas of Clarion Goldfield Dows. Abbas 39-5, a sophomore, ranked number 4 in the state. Drew Davis 39-11, and he's a senior for Independence. Yep, these two guys have wrestled. They actually just wrestled yesterday morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, when Independence faced Clarion Goldfield Dows, and it was Abbas picking up the win 8-7. A really, really well fought match, and Drew Davis had an opportunity all the way to the end to pick up a win there. So it's should be another great match here tonight between Drew Davis of Independence and Tanner Abbas of Clarion Goldfield Dows. So that's our first match at 138. After that, we move on to 160 pounds, where we have Jake Jewell stepping on the mat, and he's going to be wrestling Tristan Westfall Edward, and those two wrestled as well yesterday in that 5th and 6th place duel at the state duel. Jake Jewell and Westfall Edward wrestled, and I believe the final score was 11-4 in that match, so Jake Jewell has a win against his opponent. Jake Jewell ranked number 3 in the state. He's 41-5 on the season, a senior, and Tristan Westfall Edward of Washington 40-8 on the season, and he's just a freshman. So that's happening at 160 pounds. Moving on then to 170. At 170 pounds, gotta search out Nick Holt here down at the bottom of the bracket. Nick Holt, ranked number 4 in the state right now for Independence. He's 45-3 on the season. He's a senior, and he's going to be wrestling Dylan Diltz of Solon, and Diltz 31-9 on the season and a junior for Solon, and Holt has wins over Diltz during the course of the season. So that's happening at 170. At 182, we got Elliot Ryan will be on the mat for Independence, and Elliot Ryan's going to be wrestling number 5 ranked Cole Bennett. Bennett 35-3 on the season. He's a junior. Elliot Ryan, a senior, comes into the state tournament with a 41-9 record. So that's happening at 182 pounds. And then finally at 195, we have number 5 rated Matt McMillan on the mats for Independence. He's 46-4 on the season, a senior, and he's wrestling Seth Maitland, Maitland of Preston, Orient Maxburg, and Maitland is 51-3 on the season. He's also a senior. So we got number 5 rated Matt McMillan, number 3 rated Seth McMillan at 195, and that should be a great match to look forward to. Weight classes are rolling forward here. We're up to 120-pound matches are on the mats right now. Kind of going back to the 138-pound weight class real quick. Some of the rankings that are in that class. Drew Davis is on the bottom side of the bracket, and on that bottom side of the bracket, we know he's wrestling number 4 rated Tanner Abbas in the first round. Also, on that bottom half of the bracket, the bottom 8 wrestlers in the bracket, you have Ryan Leisure of Clear Lake, ranked number 1, and number 7 rated Connor Ashwell of MOC Floyd Valley out in western Iowa. So number 4, number 1, number 7 are on the bottom side of the bracket. On the top side of the bracket, you've got number 2, number 5, number 6, number 3, and number 10. So a lot of ranked wrestlers stacked together on the top side. So Drew Davis is hopefully if we can get through that first round match, Drew Davis is going to have a pathway to the quarterfinals, to the semifinals. I take it back. So let's see if Drew can pick up a big upset. Only lost 8-7 yesterday against his opponent from Clarion Goldfield. At 160 pounds, looking at rated wrestlers in the brackets at 160, the top side of the bracket, the top 8, first 8 wrestlers listed in the bracket, that's where Jake Jewell is at, and he comes in at number 3. But in that top side, we also have the number 1, 5, 7, and number 2 rated wrestler. If Jake Jewell picks up a win here tonight, more than likely in the quarterfinal round, he's going to have number 2 Zach Johnson of ADM. And those two wrestled back in the Battle of Waterloo in December, and it was Johnson picking up a 2-point win there. So Jake Jewell's going to have to battle his way through number 2 in the quarterfinals, and should he get to the semifinals, more than likely he's going to have Tristan Johnson of Osage, and Tristan Johnson ranked number 1 in the state. So we got the top 3 wrestlers in the state at 160 pounds. All together, all stacked together on the top side of that bracket, and they're gonna have to go through each other to get to the finals and get the place that they want to come out with here at 160 pounds. On the bottom side of the bracket, the next 8 wrestlers listed, there are only 2 ranked wrestlers on the bottom side. Number 4 ranked Trevor Nelson of Solon, and number 9 ranked Isaiah Vaughn of LaPorte City. So the whole bottom side is pretty well wide open, and would have loved to have had Jake somehow get down into that side of the bracket, kind of get alone by himself down there, but that's not the way it worked out. At 170 pounds, Nick Holt down on the bottom side of the bracket, the bottom 8 wrestlers. He's ranked number 4. He also has on that side the number 2, 5, 6, and 9 rated wrestlers on the bottom side. On the top side of the bracket, you've got number 1, 3, 7, and 10. So pretty even spread there at 170 in terms of ranked wrestlers. So Nick Holt, first ranked opponent he may have, should he win here in this first round, would be Michael Kent of Iowa Falls Alden. And if he gets himself into the semifinals, he's got number 2 rated Sherry of Glenwood, number 5 rated Shaw of Garner Hayfield, or number 6 rated Will Ryder of LaPorte City. So all guys on his side of the bracket. At 182, Elliot Ryan, he's got the number 5 rated wrestler right away in the first round. On his side of the bracket are also the number 7, 6, 8, and 9 rated wrestlers in the state. So what that leaves on the top side of the bracket is you have number 1, 2, and 3, kind of like, oh wow, number 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all in the top side of the bracket in Class 2A at 182 pounds. So definitely a tough place to be in that bracket. And you've also got number 10 rated wrestler on that side of the bracket. So 5 of the 8 are ranked on the top side of 182. Elliot Ryan on the bottom side, he's going to have number 5 and number 7 standing on his path to become a state semifinalist, and then number 6, 8, and 9 in his way to become a state finalist. At 195 pounds, I mentioned Matt McMillan. He's got number 3 rated Maitland of Creston in the very first round. Should he win that round, he's got number 9 rated Nick Jacobs of Charles City. And then, should he get to the semifinals, number 2 rated Bryce Esmoil of West Liberty. So number 2, 9, 3, and 5 on the bottom side of the bracket at 195. On the top side of the bracket, you've got number 1, Isaac Schiedenhelm, who wrestled at the sectional and district tournament. And you also have number 4, 6, and 8 on the top side at 195 pounds. So that is Matt McMillan's pathway, and those are our 5 independence wrestlers here at the state individual tournament. So yesterday, had an exciting day yesterday at the state duels. At the state duels, Independence in the first round of wrestling in the morning, they wrestled Clarion Goldfield Dows, and had a real tough loss in that dual meet. Had some great matches for Independence in that dual meet, and just a mere 3 points is where we ended up in that dual meet. I'm going to pull up the rest of the bracket in case you didn't hear how things shook out in Class 2A. Or at least I thought I was going to do that. Yeah, in Class 2A, Davenport Assumption was the eventual champion. They were on the bottom side of the bracket away from Independence, so Davenport Assumption seeded number 2 in the state, and they ended up being the state champions of the state duels in Class 2A. In second place, it was Clarion Goldfield Dows. Real close match there. Davenport Assumption beat Clarion Goldfield 36-27, and I really think Independence was in that. I think they were in that top 4 groups. If you were down here watching the wrestling, there was a little bit of a break off after Independence in that number 6, 7, and 8, the teams that placed 6th, 7th, and 8th. So I wish Independence could have, if they could have gotten maybe the 3 seed, or honestly, the way it shook out, if they could have got the number 6 seed, it would have put them really in almost a better spot in the bracket to knock off some teams that they matched up with just a little bit better. So Davenport Assumption finishes number 1 in Class 2A at the state dual tournament. Clarion Goldfield Dows number 2. New Hampton placed 3rd, a convincing win over Creston Orient Maxburg. But we were talking about that last night, and we're kind of wondering if Creston Orient Maxburg went ahead and pulled some of their starters out of their lineup. I don't think Creston came down here to get 3rd and 4th place. They came down here to be champions. So I kind of wonder if maybe they held off a little bit in their lineup, because New Hampton won that dual meet 51-21. Once again, a real convincing win. I think full strength, that would have been maybe a little bit closer. So Independence, as I mentioned, seeded number 5, and they got 5th place. 5th place over Washington. Washington was a number 7 seed, and Independence won that dual meet 34-24. And for 7th and 8th place, it was Sergeant Bluff Luton, and they defeated number 8 Albia, 8-seeded Albia, 50-29. So Sergeant Bluff Luton with the win for 7th place. So that was Class 2A. In Class 1A, we got some local teams that were involved in that. Your 1A state champions in the state duels were number 3-seeded Alburnett. They overcame that 3 seed. And they knocked off number 1 Lisbon in the finals, and they beat Lisbon 32-31. So I don't know if that was a 1-point win or if that was a criteria win. Sometimes when the dual meet is all finished up and they're tied, they go to criteria and add 1 more point onto the team score. So 32-31, that doesn't get much closer than that. For the 3rd place match, it was number 5-seeded Sibley O'Sheeden defeated number 2 seed Don Bosco 42-35. So Don Bosco finishes 4th at the state duels. For 5th and 6th, Logan Magnolia defeated Westwood Sloan, both Western Iowa teams. So we had Logan Magnolia winning 48-22. And in the 7th place match, Lake Mills beat Sigourney 53-28, and those were both the 7 and 8 seeded teams in that 7th and 8th place match. We got the 126 pounders on the mats right now, so we're getting closer to Drew Davis stepping on the mat. In Class 3A, kind of the shocker in Class 3A was West Des Moines Valley knocking off Southeast Polk to be state champions. So West Des Moines Valley beat Southeast Polk 31-26. The third place match was number 4 seed Johnston defeating Dubuque Hempstead 47-25. Dubuque Hempstead came in as a number 3 seed. The fifth place match was Waverly Shell Rock, seeded number 7. They beat Cedar Rapids Prairie, seeded number 5, 37-36. And the seventh and eighth place match was Clinton, seeded number 8, beat number 6 seed Indianola 54-20. So those were the results of the state dual tournament. State dual tournament yesterday, held here at Wells Fargo, and Independence, your fifth place team at the state dual tournament in Class 2A, and a great effort by all of our wrestlers. A lot of guys did a nice job of wrestling, and put together some good performances over the course of the day. So a fun day of wrestling, and had some good stuff going on. So I'll take some time to thank our sponsors again. Our sponsors are Adams Family Furniture, Bachman Tool and Die, Bank Iowa, Bill's Pizza and Smokehouse, Eschen Tarpey Napa, Kegler and Aaron Dentistry, Mary's Flower Patch and Gifts, Medical Associates of Independence, Ole Iowa Realty, Real Estate and Insurance, Security State Bank, Smith D&L Insurance, thanks to Dennis and Rusty Donley, and Wapsie Valley Creamery. So a big thank you to our sponsors that have allowed us to come down here and be able to broadcast Independence Mustang Wrestling. And our fans can kind of keep track of what's happening down here at the state wrestling tournament. So we're waiting Drew Davis to get onto the mat right now. And we have 126 pounders on the mats, so we got to get ourselves up through 132. Need to get some more state qualifiers, so we have some people to talk about in those lower weights. There hints to some of those younger guys in our lower weights. As I mentioned, Drew Davis is going to have the number 4 rated Tanner Abbas of Clarion Goldfield Dows. And Tanner Abbas and Drew Davis wrestled just yesterday, and it was Drew Davis winning 8-7 in that match. Abbas of Clarion Goldfield 39-5, a sophomore, and Drew Davis 39-11, a senior. So, and Abbas, as I mentioned, ranked number 4. So, but I kind of like it when Drew wrestled him yesterday. It wrestled him a close match, so he should have a little bit of confidence. Hopefully floating pretty high with a performance that good. Drew's been wrestling really well here at the sectional district tournament, and yesterday he also had some really good performances in the matches that he had. So I like our chances going into this match and wrestling this highly rated Tanner Abbas of Clarion Goldfield, and just having that 1 point loss. Just yesterday. So at 160 pounds, Jake Jewell, number 3 in the state, 41-5, senior, wrestling Tristan Westfall Edward of Washington, and Westfall Edward 40-8 on the season, and he's just a freshman. So Jake Jewell had an 11-4 win over him yesterday, and this is a case where I don't like that so much, because what that's going to give Westfall Edward has seen what Jake Jewell can throw at him, and sometimes I get a little nervous about things like that. He's had a chance to see his opponents. I mean, talk about scouting your opponent out. Somebody that's a little more highly rated, more than scouted him out, had an opportunity to wrestle him and learn what Jake Jewell is all about. So many times when you're the lower seeded wrestler, you've got an opportunity to close the gap a lot faster than a higher seeded wrestler can maybe pull away at the state wrestling tournament. So hopefully Jake Jewell can just come out and take care of business in this first round of wrestling tonight, pick up that first round win, and like I said, more than likely in the quarterfinals he's going to have Zach Johnson of Adel DeSoto Minburn ADM down by Des Moines, and we've wrestled him already back at the Battle of Waterloo, and have a loss to him but just a 2-point loss. They wrestled a solid match. At 170, we've got Nick Holt will be stepping on the mat. And Nick Holt rated number 4, and he's wrestling Dylan Diltz of Solon. Diltz 31-9 on the season, Holt 45-3, and Nick Holt does have wins over Dylan Diltz over the course of the season. So, once again, it's kind of almost a Jake Jules situation where you got an opponent that's coming in at a lower ranking. He's had a chance to wrestle you a few times, so Dylan Diltz knows what's coming, and he's kind of had the opportunity to think about what can he do to close the gap with Nick Holt, and doesn't have that day of wrestling that Nick Holt had yesterday as well. So, hopefully that won't play a factor into all of it. I know our independence wrestlers are all in really, really good shape, and I know how hard they've worked all season. So I don't think one match will determine it. Now, if you had to come out 3 matches tonight to get this all sorted out, then maybe wrestling all day yesterday would have a little bit more of an effect on our wrestlers. But I think we'll be okay coming out for one rock solid match there for Nick Holt, and hopefully pick up the win over Diltz. Should Nick Holt move forward, I have to think that maybe he'll have the number 9 ranked Michael Kent of Iowa Falls Alden in the quarterfinals. So that's happening at 170. At 182, Elliot Ryan wrestling number 5 rated Cole Bennett of Davenport Assumption. Mentioned Davenport Assumption were state dual champions yesterday. And Bennett 35-3 on the season. Elliot Ryan 41-9. And I'm not going to take anything away from Elliot Ryan, because if he gets that opportunity to maybe show that cradle, hook up that cradle, he can slap that move on anybody. It doesn't matter what your rating is. He's gonna look for it if he gets a chance, and he's just so good with it. We always have wrestlers every year that pick up their move, their signature move, the thing that they can go to all the time, and that is clearly Elliot Ryan. When he gets in that top position, he's got that cradle he can always go to. So Bennett ranked number 5 from Davenport Assumption. Should Elliot Ryan move forward in that bracket, I have to believe he'll probably in the quarterfinals would wrestle Luke Erickson of Mediapolis. Erickson 25-4, a senior. So that's happening at 182. And then at 195, Matt McMillan, rated number 5, wrestling number 3, Seth Maitland of Creston. So a tough match, tough first round match. I believe we have a win over Maitland a couple years ago at the state duels. When these two were just sophomores, Matt McMillan actually picked up a win over him. So we can go some ancient history there, almost 2 years ago. Clearly things will change a little bit in a couple years, but McMillan and Maitland in that first round. And should Matt move forward, I believe he would have number 9 seeded Nick Jacobs of Charles City. And I'm pretty sure we have wins over Nick Jacobs this season. We wrestled Charles City early in the season. So once again, 5 wrestlers here tonight, and we're going to get a chance to see how Independence can make things happen. Make things happen here in this first round of wrestling. We've got a whole bunch of 132 matches are on the mats now, so we're getting close to moving to 138. And Drew Davis looks like he'll be the fifth match called at 138 pounds, so probably about 6 matches away. Got about 6 of those matches finished up. We got 3 of them are in the 3rd period right now, so got a little bit more time, maybe another 5 minutes or so, and we'll have Drew Davis on the mat for Independence. The schedule for the state individual tournament, so we're going right now from 6 to 9 p.m. That'll be Class 2A, the first round of wrestling. If you win your first round, you're done for the night. But if you lose your first round, you get an opportunity to wrestle on the consolation side. Wrestlers will move back onto the consolation side. And for those that are of my vintage in wrestling, many people can remember back in the day when it was one match and that was probably it, because you had to wait to see if your opponent was going to get into the finals. So you had to sit around the rest of the day on Thursday. You had to sit around all day into Friday evening and wait for the person that beat you somewhere along the way. If they became a finalist, you were back into the tournament and got an opportunity to wrestle for a medal. And at that time, it was also 6 places rather than 8 places too. So I'm not sure how many years ago now. Probably ancient history. I probably shouldn't even talk about it because nobody even remembers any of this stuff. Hopefully there's some old timers out there that remember that. When they brought this Wrestle 2 matches in, it was one of the best things they did for the state tournament. And now we also wrestle to 8 places as well. If you pick up 2 wins at the state tournament, you're gonna be a place winner, and I think that's a huge step forward, because having been the recipient of one of those wrestlers that had to sit in the stands for 2 days and actually watch the guy that beat me first round back in the day lost in the semifinals match in the 3rd period, that memory sticks with me pretty hard. So wrestling here tonight, Class 2A. Class 2A will step out onto the mats again tomorrow afternoon, and we'll be on the internet tomorrow afternoon starting at 2:30, and it'll be Class 2A quarterfinals, and then also after the quarterfinal round, it will be the 2nd round of Consolation. So the quarterfinal losers will then move into a cross bracket against an opponent that won his 2nd match here tonight. So that's always a tough place to be as well, because you've got somebody chomping at the bit waiting to wrestle, and you might have just lost your quarterfinal match, and you've got to get your head put back on and be ready to wrestle a tough match against somebody that's been sitting around and waiting, got a chance to watch you wrestle on the mat. So anyway, tomorrow afternoon, Class 2A quarterfinals and 2A 2nd round consolations. That's happening from 2:30 to 5:45. That's the next time Independence will be on the mat. And then also tomorrow night, we hope that we have our guys still in the tournament at that point in time. Tomorrow night from 8:45 to 10 o'clock, we'll have the internet broadcast going at that point in time, 8:45 to 10, and that will be Class 2A semifinals and 3rd round consolations as well. The Class 2A semifinalists, they will be definitely be state place winners. They're trying to get into that finals match. We know that they'll be in the top 8 somewhere. Actually, they'll be in the top 6 somewhere. And that 3rd round of consolations, those are the matches where those wrestlers are looking for that 2nd win. Looking for that 2nd win and trying to be state place winners. So once again, tomorrow's wrestling from 2:30 to 5:45. That's session 5 and session 6 for Class 2A, and those are our Independence wrestlers from 8:45 to 10 o'clock. Now, depending on where it all shakes out, if we have Independence wrestlers that are going for places 3 through 8, that will happen on Saturday morning, session 7 on Saturday morning. That happens at 10 a.m. on Saturday morning, and once again, we'll have that streaming on the internet. Again, if you have the opportunity to listen on the internet at 10 o'clock in the morning, we'll do Class 1A, 2A, and 3A, consolation semifinals and finals. So we'll sort out places 3 through 8 on Saturday morning from 10 to 2:15. And then finally, hopefully, we'd love to have some Independence wrestlers in the finals on Saturday evening. Saturday evening at 6 o'clock is when the Grand March and the finals for all classes is going to take place. Haven't decided if we're going to be online for that one. I know that I will not be able to be there that night. I get the opportunity to watch my daughter do some singing, so I'm going to let wrestling go for a little while that evening and go watch my daughter at Wartburg College perform. So here we go. We've got Drew Davis on the mat right down there on mat 8. So Drew Davis is on the mat right now, checking in. Got the Independence camouflage uniforms going on, and these changing uniforms always drive me a little nuts. As soon as I figure out what team's what, then they all go throw on these crazy uniforms. Thankfully, we got the big I on front of it, so we know exactly who we are and can keep track of each other. But sometimes, especially when the teams go to the white uniforms, that makes it a little tougher. All right, we got Abbas with the first in on the legs and gets the first takedown. Abbas with the low outside single leg gets on the leg and gets that first takedown. Davis right up to his feet, gets the escape. So 2-1 score right now. Drew Davis on the mat, wrestling on mat 8 here, and Abbas of Cleary and Goldfield Dallas. Those guys wrestled an 8-7 match. Tried a little duck under there by Davis on the edge of the mat, and he slipped out of it, and went out of bounds. No point scored. That got kind of close there on the edge. A little closer than we wanted it to be. Davis took the shot, kind of a little high crotch fake. There's a shot by Davis, good job. And boy, Cleary and Goldfield, they're reshots. If you take a shot, you better be ready. They're coming back at you, and he's down on a leg. Down on Davis on a single leg, trying to work up on that leg. Davis reaching back for a whizzer, trying to stay heavy on the head, keeping him stuck down on the mat. 1:03 left in the first period. They're kind of near the edge. Now Abbas reaches up to the head, pulls the head down, and sneaks around behind for 2. And there's 2 more points for Abbas of Cleary and Goldfield. So he goes ahead 4-1. 4-1 in this match against Drew Davis. And he's going to cut him loose again. So Abbas is thinking, we're going to go on our feet here. So 4-2 score, down to 40 seconds left in the period. What Drew's got to realize is if he's going to take a shot, Abbas is going to come right back at him. They were doing this yesterday as well. That reshot, there's a shot by Davis. Nice drive double leg now. Needs to get in good position. I have a feeling when Drew comes up, Abbas is going to come right back at him, and there it is. As soon as Drew came right back up, Drew took the shot, got stretched out, and as soon as they both kind of came to their feet, Abbas attacked right away and got in on another takedown. So 6-2 right now is the score. Abbas of Cleary and Goldfield leading at the end of the first period over Drew Davis, 6-2. And Davis is going to get his choice. He's going to defer. And Abbas of Cleary and Goldfield is going to go into the down position. So Drew Davis down 6-2 after the first period. And yesterday just an 8-7 score. So already probably a few more points on the board here early on. And Abbas gets up to his feet right away off the whistle. Davis tries a lift and return and tries to get him back down. I'll tell you what, Abbas puts did a lot of movement, and he just got a series of moves all the time. He had to sit out there and just kept moving. Davis is out on a front headlock right now, trying to keep things under control. Good job with the softball throw or the shuck underneath. Gets around back behind and gets back under control. So good job by Drew Davis after Abbas had a nice series of movement there right off of the whistle. 1:37 left in the second period. Drew Davis behind 6-2. New start back in the middle of the mat. Drew Davis still in the top position. Working hand control. Good job. He's got the hips down. Tried to put a leg in over on the left-hand side. And Abbas is able to fight that off. Got the hip down on the mat, but we'll take hips on the mat. That means he's not up and moving and not going to be able to score points quite as easily. He's flat on the mat right now. Down to 1:06 left in the second period here. Drew Davis behind 6-2. Davis trying to roll an arm up across the back. He's had a bar arm. He's trying to go for a tilt, I think. Trying to load him up. Now he's got a chicken wing over on the right-hand side, kind of getting to the edge of the mat. So we got to be strategic here with what direction we want to go. We got a wing over on the right-hand side. And he's going to try and jump across. He's going to go across the back and maybe try to pull him over top. He does. He flips him over. 1 count by the referee, just a roll through. So no points, and they say out of bounds, and they're going to get a new start. Nice job in the top position by Drew Davis. Stopped that initial flurry in the first 20 seconds and really has had Abbas on the mat the whole rest of the time. 31 seconds left in the second period. See if Drew can stop this first motion. Abbas is able to get a stand up right away. Davis, nice lift and return to the mat. Good job. Lock the hands, lift and return. And now he's got the crossface going. Looked like he had it pretty tight. He's lost it over there. It's kind of hard to see from up here. Got the bottom hand stalling. Got a stall call against Cleary and Goldfield. And after those first 20 seconds in that beginning of the second period, really Cleary and Goldfield has been flat on the mat. Really initial stand up there, but as soon as Drew put him back down, he went flat again. So nice job in that top position by Drew Davis. Score still stands at 6-2 at the end of the second period. Davis going to choose the down position in the third. 6-2 score right now. Abbas has led us up every single time. He's going to do the exact same thing. I know it feels pretty good. Not even going to take time to kind of be in that top position at all against Drew Davis. So 6-3 now. 6-3, 1:45 left.
You got that stall call against him. Push it.
Yep. Drew Davis has a stall call against Abbas of Clearing Goldfield. Davis with a shot off the edge of the mat. Good job. That's smart wrestling by Drew Davis there. You get to the edge. Coaches are saying heavy on the head. They're trying to get him on, hands on his head. Keep moving him around a little bit. I would add, just in the little bit that we've watched, if you're going to take that shot, now I'll tell you what, Abbas is backing up a little bit here. We might get another stall call. Oh, Abbas takes a shot though. Single leg cuts off to the double leg. And I think Abbas has it covered. Boy, Abbas pulled that one, pulled the trigger on that single leg, and a nice cut over to the double. And you know, that was a pretty good shot by Abbas. So he now goes ahead 8-3. And with just 1:02 left in this match for Drew Davis, that's a big margin to fill here in 57 seconds now. Davis in that bottom position, a sit out. Abbas tried to suck him back. Davis goes right back to the sit out, gets the stand up, and 45 seconds left here, and it's an 8-4 score. 8-4, Drew Davis behind in this match. There's Abbas with an outside single leg. He's taking the shots maybe we should be taking right now. Davis trying to fight off that single leg, got the head stuffed down, looking for a quarter Nelson there, it looks like. Got to be careful, walk on our hips there as close as we are. Abbas is going to try to come around behind actually and limp arm out. And Drew Davis might pick up two. He's got inside leg. Oh, no, referee stops it. Potentially dangerous. They're going to go back up to their feet with just 13 seconds left. It's 8-4, so Drew's got to pull something out of the hat here. I mean, everybody's going to look for a throw. Maybe he can hit a high crotch, fireman's, something like that to the back, and instead Abbas is just going to run away. Hit him with the stall call. Get it on record, because he just totally danced in a circle there at the end of that match, those final 15 seconds. So frustrating loss for Drew Davis. An 8-5 loss. 8-5 with must have hit him at the end, I wonder. 8-5 final score. Oh, they gave a fleeing. I bet you they gave a fleeing a point. Kind of a not fleeing the mat necessarily, but basically running away from your opponent. So 8-5, an 8-5 loss there for Drew Davis. So Davis is going to go over to the Consolation side. And Abbas moves forward in the tournament. So 8-5. Yesterday it was 8-7. So not much of a change there. I was hoping we could maybe close that gap just a little bit, but weren't quite able to make it happen. Just the shots that Tanner Abbas had, especially the reshots off of our shots early on in the match, and really Tanner Abbas did a good job there in the end when he pulled the trigger on those last couple takedowns. They were rock solid shots and had a good setup and got deep enough into Drew Davis's legs that he was able to finish those moves off. So Drew Davis, a first round loss here in the Class 2A state tournament at 138 pounds, an 8-5 loss to the number 4 rated Tanner Abbas. And Drew Davis will either wrestle Anthony Dudak of Dubuque Wallert or Jordan Renshaw of Glenwood. So Dudak or Renshaw of Glenwood. And I wonder, maybe check this out real quick and see if we can maybe pull up the track wrestling for the tournament. Maybe we could possibly see who Drew Davis might have. So we'll let that happen. We got a couple. We have one 138-pound match out there right now. See if I can find it. Well, not the one I was looking for. So we'll have to wait and see who Drew Davis has in this in the consolation side now. So first round match by Drew Davis, a loss 8-5 to Tanner Abbas, and like I said, we had that win yesterday. We had a loss 8-7 yesterday. So second match and same result, unfortunately, for Drew Davis. Okay, we're waiting now for 160 pounds. We got pretty much all the mats are loaded up with 145s, and I know the 52s have all been called to mats. So we'll go through 152s, and then we'll finally get a chance for Jake Jewell to step on the mat. Jake Jewell will be the fourth match called for Independence there at 160 pounds. He's going to be wrestling Tristan Westfall Edward of Washington. Westfall Edward, 40-8 on the season. He's a freshman. And Jake Jewell, number three in the state, 41-5, and a senior. We had a win over Westfall Edward, 11-4 yesterday in the state duels, as we wrestled Washington for 5th and 6th place in the state tournament, state duel tournament, I should say. Okay, so get an opportunity here to thank our sponsors again. Our sponsors for Independence Mustang Wrestling: Adams Family Furniture, Bachman Tool and Die, Bank Iowa, Bill's Pizza and Smokehouse, Eschen Tarpey Napa, Kegler and Aaron Dentistry, Mary's Flower Patch and Gifts, Medical Associates of Independence, Ole Iowa Realty, Real Estate and Insurance, Security State Bank, Smith D&L Insurance, Dennis and Rusty Donnelly, and Wapsie Valley Creamery. So thanks a lot to those sponsors, and thanks a lot for 95.3 KQMG for broadcasting as well. Broadcast the 3 dual meets yesterday at the state duels, and then picking up the first round of wrestling here tonight at the state individual tournament. The rest of the sessions we'll have on our internet broadcast. Kind of take an opportunity here as we're 145-pound wrestling, kind of taking a long time, it looks like. I wanted to just look at some of the other weight classes in Class 2A. In Class 2A, just thinking of some of the wrestlers that we've seen over the course of the season. You got a number 2 rated Eric Fott of Clear Lake. He's 32-0, a freshman. We wrestled Clear Lake up at the Osage Duels. Dylan Robinson was the district runner-up for New Hampton at 106 pounds. Those districts were hosted by Independence. We also have Grayson Kesterson of Williamsburg. Obviously Williamsburg in the Walmart Conference. Grayson Kesterson ranked number 10 from Williamsburg, 37-7, a sophomore. He qualified at 106 pounds. Caden Anderlich of Crestwood, ranked number 6 from Crestwood, 36-6 on the season. He was a district champ at the Independence districts as well. So kind of area wrestlers that we saw kind of over the course of the season at 106 pounds. At 113, South Tama, Brady Fitz, ranked number 10. South Tama, wrestler, 36-6 on the season. He's a sophomore, so qualified at 113 pounds. And let's see who else. Noah Fye wrestled at our sectional or our district tournament. Noah Fye of New Hampton, ranked number 5 in the state. We saw Justin Portillo yesterday of Clearing Goldfield. Jared Orr had a chance to wrestle him. What else do we have? Denver Tripola as well. Riley Wright of Denver Tripola. We saw Riley Wright at our both sectional and district tournament. So that's some of the wrestlers at 113 pounds that we've come across over the course of the season. Got a few 52-pound matches are getting onto the mats right now. So we're moving towards Jake Jewell. Union LaPorte City at 120 pounds has John Hellman. So John Hellman, 41-5 on the season. He's a senior for LaPorte City. We have, I know the JV wrestlers went to the East Marshall duels, and maybe some of our wrestling fans remember Nick Mealing of East Marshall. He's ranked number 9. He qualified at 120 pounds. Crestwood's Michael Millage, ranked number 3 in the state, qualified at 120 pounds. He was at our district tournament. Cole Lean of Williamsburg, 36-12 on the season. A senior for Williamsburg, a qualifier at 120 pounds. And Connor Cleveland wrestled at our district tournament for New Hampton. Connor Cleveland ranked number 2 in the state at 120 pounds. Got about half the mats now loaded up with 152-pound wrestlers. So Jake Jewell should be getting called to a match here pretty quickly. Ben Carr of Solon is qualified at 126 pounds. Ben Carr of Solon, 40-8 on the season. Ryan Steffen of Cresco, number 4 rated in the state at 126 pounds. South Tama has Tanner Probosco. Tanner Probosco, ranked number 7 for South Tama, qualified at 126. Brock Rathman of Centerpoint Urbana, he's 44-0 on the season, a senior, and ranked number 1 in the state. Rathman at 126 pounds. Mount Vernon, Justin Light is going to be wrestling Brock Rathman. 2 Walmack opponents right out of the gates in the first round of wrestling at 126. So Justin Light of Mount Vernon wrestling Brock Rathman at 126. Tyler Shatek of New Hampton qualified out of our district tournament. And we've got Nate Lasher of Charles City, 28-12 on the season. Lasher, ranked number 5, is also qualified in at 126 pounds. And wrestler of note, Derek Holschlag of Union, he was ranked number 3 in the state, did not qualify at 126. Oh, he moved up to 132 at that point in time. So he was actually ranked at 126 and moved up to 132. So Derek Holschlag at 132. Qualifier for Union LaPorte City. Mount Vernon, Tony Garcia, ranked number 10. South Tama, Colton Best, a 30-4 sophomore, qualified at 132. Keaton Gertz from New Hampton, ranked number 1 in the state. Keaton Gertz. And we have Chase Leinard of Cresco Crestwood as well. Chase Leinard, ranked number 4, qualified at 132. And Brendan Ryan was ranked number 7 for Olwine and was not able to qualify for the state tournament. And there's a reason for that, because he had some pretty tough wrestlers in his way. Leinard ranked number 4, and Keaton Gertz ranked number 1. And those 3 guys were all in the same sectionals. So that's a pretty tough pathway to get yourself to the state tournament. At 145 pounds, once again, just thinking of some area wrestlers. North Fayette Valley qualified Jared Kerr at 145. Charles City had Max Forsyth, ranked number 2 in the state, 35-3 senior. Mount Vernon, first 160 pounders have been called now. Back here at 145, Charlie Engelbrecht of Mount Vernon was a qualifier at 145. Trey Pekanovsky of Cresco Crestwood qualified. Nick Highland of Vinton Shellsburg, a qualifier for Vinton, ranked number 3 in the state. Cole Fritz of Solon, ranked number 7. And Jarrett Probosco of South Tama. The bottom side of that 45-pound bracket, three Womack wrestlers all sitting there right bunched around each other. It'd be like a little mini Womack tournament down on that side of the bracket. At 152 pounds, we had Colton Lewis of Williamsburg, a qualifier, Isaac Judge of South Tama, Neil Clement of Cresco. We had Ryan Gorman of New Hampton. We wrestled Brock Jennings of Osage, a qualifier. And we had the number 7 rated, Luke Hageman of Dyersville Beckman, was at our district tournament, but did not make it out of that district tournament. Okay, we've talked a lot about 60, 70, 82, and 95 along the way. That's our next 4 wrestlers coming up for Independence. So I'm looking forward to getting Jake Jewell on the mat out there pretty quickly. We got the first 160-pound, second 160-pound match are on the mats right now. At 220-pound, Travis McMillan of Oldline, ranked number 5. He's going to be wrestling here tonight in this first round of wrestling. He's ranked number 5, and it's kind of like his cousin, Matt McMillan. Matt's ranked number 3, ranked number 5, wrestling number 3, and you got Travis McMillan, ranked number 5. He's wrestling the number 2 rated wrestler, Alex Paulson. And I'm not sure FOCL. I'm not sure what abbreviation that is. I'll have to try and check that out here in a little bit. The wrestlers, Bryce Cox of Mount Vernon, qualified at 220 pounds. Aaron Malloy of Charles City. Jordan Baumler, ranked number 7 in North Fayette Valley, qualified out of the district hosted at Independence. Caleb Ring of Osage, ranked number 9, a qualifier. So those are some qualifiers at 220 pounds. And then finally at 285, the heavyweights. I look at the bracket. Carter Isley of Albia, ranked number 1, 37-0, and I know Austin Larkin found out who he was yesterday. Austin Larkin wrestled a match against him and lost by tech fall, but Carter Isley he's a large young man and carries that 285 pounds really, really well. Tough wrestler. At 285, Jacob Knutson from Cresco, qualified out of our district. LaPorte City's Michael Aronson. Aronson 44-5 on the season, number 7 rated for Union LaPorte City. Denver Tripola qualified Brock Farley. That's one of those we wish that Austin Larkin would have had an opportunity, had a chance to maybe sneak out of sectionals and districts and be a state qualifier, but things didn't quite pan out for him. Quentin Miller of Williamsburg is a state qualifier, 43-11 on the season. Mount Vernon's Tristan Wirfs is ranked number 5, qualifier for them. And finally, Brody Tupy of Charles City, ranked number 10, and a qualifier for those guys. So I don't think I can use much more time here. We got to get Jake Jewell on the mat so we can get this first round of wrestling going. And I've said it many, many times over the course of dual meets in the season. Starting here with Jake Jewell, we talk about the heartbeat of our lineup, and that's obviously 160, 170, 182, 195. These 4 guys, all state qualifiers, and a fun 4 guys to have in the lineup, because all of a sudden, in a lot of cases, you could go out and put 24 points on the board with 4 pins in a row, and getting ready to get Jake Jewell out there on the mat. And we'll see. I was hoping Track Wrestling would look ahead for me, give me a next up, but we haven't got anybody assigned quite yet. So Jake Jewell's got to be one of the next matches to go here. We've got 3 160-pound matches are on the mat right now, and hopefully, I believe he's listed as the fourth match at 160. Got 2 mats that are kind of wrapping things up in the 3rd period, so we're going to keep an eye on those and hopefully get a chance to see Jake Jewell in action here shortly. Jake Jewell's going to be wrestling Tristan Westfall Edward. Westfall Edward 48-8 on the season. He's a freshman. Jake Jewell 41-5 and a senior, ranked number 3, and we had an 11-4 win over Westfall Edward last night. And Westfall Edward, a really solid freshman. We noted yesterday when we were wrestling Washington that Jake Jewell, a lot of times he can blow through a lot of double leg takedowns. He's been doing it all season, but Westfall Edwards has really good hips and was able to stop a lot of what Jake Jewell was throwing at him. So we got a Looks like maybe mat 6. We got about 17 seconds left on mat 6. So, oh, but of course they're tied up. So we'll probably go overtime in that one. So maybe we'll have to wait just a little bit longer for Jake Jewell to get on the mat. I'd like to thank our sponsors again here before Jake Jewell steps on the mat. We got Adams Family Furniture. Thanks to Brett Adams and family. Bachman Tool and Die. Thanks to the Bachman family. Bank, Iowa. Bill's Pizza and Smokehouse. Eschen Tarpey Napa. Thanks to those guys. Kegler and Aaron Dentistry. Mat 6. Okay, here we go. We got Jake Jewell heading out to a mat right now on mat 6. So once again, Kegler and Aaron, thanks to those guys that keep my teeth looking good. Mary's Flower Patch and Gifts, Medical Associates of Independence, Ole Iowa Realty, Real Estate and Insurance, Security State Bank, Smith D&L Insurance, Dennis and Rusty Donley, and Wapsie Valley Creamery. Thanks to all of our sponsors, and thanks for 95.3 KQMG for being willing to do the state duels yesterday with us, and also with us here tonight in this first round of wrestling. This is when we're going to see the most wrestling in this round. Get our Independence guys out on the mat. Drew Davis started off tonight with a tough loss in his first match at 138 pounds, and we got Jake Jewell on the line right now, and here we go. Jake goes right to the head right away. Head taps, tries to go forward. Jake with a long double leg, and Jake's going to have to set things up a little bit better. There's a nice snap down on his opponent, trying to pull him down to the mat, heavy on the head. So we've already had a shot and a bit of a snap down by Jake Jewell. There's another snap down, trying to pull him down and forward. Man, those hands, he's pulling hard. There's a nice high crotch. Oh, he's got to cut off to it though. Finish it off. Cover up those hips. Good job getting the ankle. And there's a takedown by Jake Jewell. That was a nice high crotch. He could maybe finish it up just a little bit quicker. Yeah, that was looked good from up here. It's got to be sweet down there on the mat too. So 2-0. Jake Jewell goes ahead. Jake Jewell trying to go for that claw and into a tilt, coming across the shoulder, and Rock's actually back on his back a little bit, trying to get some cheap back points. Yeah. So minute seven left. They get a new start back in the middle when they went out of bounds. Opponent stands up. Jake Jewell's going to have to decide what he's going to do here. Drops down. Oh, he's going to go for that tilt. That's the Chase Straw tilt. It's a standing tilt. Goes between the legs, catches the arm. He's got a 2 count. He's going to get some back points. What's that?
Stall call against Jake.
A stall call?
And that didn't bring him down to the mat fast enough, yeah.
I missed the stall call. Okay. So a stall call against Jake Jewell by not returning him to the mat fast enough. So he did get that. I was saying he had to make the decision of what he had to make the decision what he wanted to do, and didn't quite go to that tilt maybe fast enough for the referee. Referee hit him with the stall call for not returning his opponent to the mat. But so mat 6 picked up 2 more. Yep. So 4-0 score with 15 seconds left here in the first period. Jake Jewell in the top position. Nice takedown and a tilt here. We got to get him returned to the mat. Oh, nice lift and return. Good job by Jake Jewell. Just pick him up and put him down here with about 8 seconds left, and now it's going to wrap up here. End of the first period, and that was a good return to the mat. He needed to set him down with some authority right there and quit messing around. So we're going to go, both wrestlers are up on their feet. So Washington wants to go on his feet here, and Washington takes that first shot. Jake Jewell fends it off pretty easily. Got those legs back, pretty good time. Both wrestlers tied up, collar tie right now. Jake Jewell trying to pull that head down. Little shuck, elbow shuck. Oh, Jake Jewell returns it. It's like shuck, reshuck going on there. One guy pops the elbow up, then Jake Jewell comes right back and jacks the other guy's elbow up in the air. Gets a shot, but they go out of bounds. And we got a minute 37. I don't like mat 6 because I can never see the scoreboard. So 135. We'll trust the big board up on the great big hanging scoreboard in the in the auditorium here. So both wrestlers up on their feet right now. Minute 24 left here in the second period. The Washington wrestler chose to go both up here in this period. I'd love to see Jake kind of turn the tables and get the takedown here. And they go out of bounds.
Backing up though. We need to push.
Yep.
Push.
Jake kind of backing up a little bit. His opponent pushing forward. This is where Jake get a couple, as his opponent moves forward, get a couple head taps and try to pop off a good solid double leg here. And once again, Jake Jewell wrestling Tristan Westfall Edward. There's a shot by Jake Jewell. He got through the hips well that time. Got right into the hips. Nice blast double. Just went through every defense his opponent had. Opponent had a kind of a hand on the head even, and we just went right through it. That's a nice double leg. That's what Jake can do. Powerful wrestler. So he's up 6-0 now with 40 seconds left. And, you know, with that stall call, he's going to go underneath again with that tilt. Oh, just keep getting that roll through. We got to try and get those cheap points, but
This one all put together freshman.
yeah, this freshman does a good job.
Yeah.
It's you know, you got a senior that's been, you know, really highly rated here in Jake Jewell the last couple of years, and this freshman can kind of run with the big dogs. It's going to be maybe kind of fun to watch him. We'll remember, oh, there's a loss of a point by Jake Jewell, not being able to return his opponent to the mat. So 6-1 score. Now Jake Jewell drops down to the legs and just kind of hang on tight here to the low ankle, and hopefully we can just get a new start here shortly. Get some kind of a stalemate. They go out of bounds, so we get that new start back in the middle. 5 seconds left in the second period, so this is where Jake's just got to get him broken down right away. Get a hold of an ankle, get something to get him flat right out of the gates. Got Channel 7 down there. Ooh, we could have had maybe some back points there. His opponent tried to roll through, got his hips free and tried to roll through. I thought Jake might have paused him there for a little bit, but no points awarded. Channel 7 down on the mats there, so Independence fans, if you check out Channel 7 tonight, you might get a chance to see a little bit of this match on KWWL. Jake Jewell's going to start the third period in the down position, and we don't want to have our head on the mat. We need to stay based up and moving here. 6-1 score. Jake Jewell tripod up. He's up to his feet. Opponent putting watch that. Jake kind of tried to hip over there a little bit, and that's a little scary. Sometimes that doesn't go so well, but got back to his feet, got the stand up, and got the takedown. So down to 1:35 left. He's up 7-1 right now. We had 11-4 win last night over this opponent. We're up 7-1 right now.
Last night was a takedown clinic, basically.
Yep. And here's another. Jake gets in on a single leg, sucks those hips in. Oh, thought he could have kept walking into that. He had it pretty tight.
Just let it go.
Yeah, kind of just let that leg go. I'm a little surprised by that. He was in deep enough to maybe work at that a little bit harder. Now, opponent takes kind of up on the head and looks for maybe a little bit of an ankle pick down there. They're on the edge of the mat now, and Washington's just going to try to maybe push us out of bounds or shoot us out of bounds, and that's what happens. So they go back to the middle. 7-1 score. Jake Jewell on top. 56 seconds left. 56 seconds left here in the third period now. Back to the middle. Little fake shot by Jake Jewell. Now it's, Jake can just kind of stay in good position now here with 43 seconds, but instead he goes forward on a single leg, has it up in the air, goes for the trip. We got him covered. So there's two. Walk up the hips and lock those things down a little bit. We didn't cover those hips very well. We got the two, but didn't move forward and control those hips very well. So now we're going to get in this crazy position here. We're down. We're actually head down on the mat in between the legs, and I'm actually kind of glad Washington didn't turn that into some kind of weird scramble. I don't know what that was, but Washington just said, oh, whatever, let's go back to the middle. And they go back and get a new start. 16 seconds left. We're up 9-1 right now. Jake Jewell drops down on a single leg after the stand up by the Washington opponent. And another stall call. This referee, apparently he wants you to get him back down to the mat. He's making that point well known against Jake Jewell. It's 9-2 now. 8 seconds left. And opponent from Washington gets up in feet. Might as well cut him loose so we don't give him another stall call. 9-3, and that's how time's going to run out. think it should be 9-3. Did I miss one there? Got 9-2. So, I don't know, maybe I missed something there. 9-2, that's what it says on the scoreboard, so I'm going to go with it. 9-2 win for Jake Jewell, so congratulations. Jake Jewell moves forward with the 9-2 win.
Number 2 ranked Johnston.
Yep.
Tomorrow afternoon.
So tomorrow, we got, start looking for Nick Holt too.
Ranked and undefeated Johnston.
Yeah. Wrestling Zach Johnson. Zach Johnson tomorrow afternoon for Jake Jewell. Zach Johnson of ADM ranked number 2. Jake Jewell ranked number 3, and we're gonna have a battle in the quarterfinals at 160 pounds. Okay. Mat 4. We've got Nick Holt heading out there right now. So, yeah, we're gonna have to kind of listen ahead because Elliot Ryan, I think, is on near the top side of his bracket. Oh, he's down to the bottom side too. So we've got Nick Holt reporting to his mat right now. See Coach Downley down there. Now I see Nick Holt. Yeah, we've had a win already against Solon, so we got to be feeling pretty good here in this first round for Nick Holt. Number 4 rated, 45-3 on the season, a senior, wrestling Dylan Diltz of Solon, 31-9. And we got Nick doing his pre-match routine over there on the edge. He's got that figured out, shaking those arms out, and here we go. And I like this mat placement a little bit better. Mat number 4 right down in front of us here from the press box. And so we got Nick Holt on the mat for us right now, and we're going to keep an ear open for Elliot Ryan coming up next at 182 pounds. And the only disadvantage I can see to this match is these two have wrestled several times. There's Holt with an outside single leg. Need to get his opponent made a step a little bit on that shot. Didn't quite get him stepped and circled that direction. But a pretty good shot by Nick Holt. And what's that? Yeah. We're good. Nick Holt, single leg attempt that not quite able to finish off. 1:23 left in the first period. That little kind of arm shuck off the collar tie, trying to shuck that tie off and get into a single leg by Nick Holt. We've had there's a shot by Nick Holt, double leg, but kind of the head between the legs. Let's see if he can get in there and pull. Now he switched off to a single leg, see if he can pull that thing in. We're all stretched out though now. It's going to be awfully tough to finish this off. Solon wrestler just going to keep the hips low, but we step around behind the leg. Now if we can limp arm through this wizard that Solon has. Oh, we dump him back, come up around the head. Oh, we missed one there. There's a takedown by Nick Holt. So good takedown. I didn't think he had much of a chance of finishing that off, but he stayed with it and stepped over top of the leg and did a good job of fighting off that pressure, fighting off that wizard that the Solon wrestler had on him. So 2-0 score here for Nick Holt. 20 seconds left in the first period. Got that important first takedown in the match here in this first period. That first takedown is always a big deal. 10 seconds left. They're going to head back to the middle of the mat as they go out of bounds. 5 seconds left now, heading back to the middle. So Nick's just got to keep that opponent down on the mat here for another 5 seconds, or hold it. Okay, I didn't think I was lying. There were 10 seconds. Now they added 4 seconds back on. They must have let the clock run a little bit there. So they're going to put 9 seconds on the clock here. And Solon just explodes out of that position. Nick Holt hanging onto a leg, but I think, what's he going to do? Oh, no change. No change. So that was pretty close.
He had one hand on that leg, so
I'm probably a little surprised by that one. I think the Solon coaches are a little surprised too, but hey, we'll take it. 2-0. 2-0. Nick ahead here at the end of the first period. He's going to go in the top position, and Solon does the same thing. Goes to a quick stand up. Nick Holt in that rear standing position. Going to see if he can drop his opponent down. Drops down to a single leg. Has the leg up in the air. Goes to the head and has a nice trip. Puts his opponent back down on the mat. Good high treetop single leg and a good trip there. And that's kind of a put him back down to the mat with a little authority there, and that always just takes the wind out of somebody's sails when you get dropped in the mat like that. And so far Solon pretty much bellied out right now. And Nick can go to work from that top position. He's got a chicken wing, it looks like, over on that right-hand side. Starting to work something. He's got a far wrist. Yeah, he's got a wing and a far wrist. Wing over on the right-hand side and the wrist. So here we go. If he can roll that wrist up, got a lot of controls. Oh, we lost the wrist. Got to come back behind. Lost the wing as well. So 2-0 score. 1:04 left in the second period. Nick Holt got things under control in the top position here in this second period. Had the chicken wing and was hoping he could run that thing forward and get some back points out of the deal, but his opponent was able to fight that off. Good pressure by Nick Holtz. He's had a wing. Now he's going a bar arm over on that right-hand side. Got the arm across the back. Now he's going to switch to a little bit of a tilt there briefly. 30 seconds left in the second period. We got a bar arm now. He's over the head, and here we go. He's going to run him over, but Solon rolls through and kicks out and gets the escape. Nick Holt takes an outside single leg shot, so right idea by Nick. He's going to try and get back in here. 15 seconds left in the second period and score some points right away. Out of bounds, back to the middle. Let's see what Nick can do, see if he can. We got something with, did you see that? They just popped his shoulder back in.
Are you serious?
Yes.
That's nasty.
Solon wrestler walked over to the side with his arm sticking out, and the Solon coach just grabbed it and popped his shoulder back in. He's got a brace on that shoulder.
He's got a brace on that shoulder, and he walked over and he stuck it out. The coach just
wow.
gave the old how-to.
He gave him a little pop. I have never seen that before. You could tell his arm wasn't moving quite right, and apparently it's happened before. He walked over to his coach. His coach just kind of gave it a little shove, popped it back in place, and now he's moving it again. And you could tell it was legit because when it popped, you saw him kind of cringe or wince a little bit. 11 seconds. Nick Holt on his feet here. Ahead 2-1. Love to see him pop off there. Solon with a little half shot. And that's how the second period is going to wrap up. Nick Holt ahead 2-1. Nick Holt ahead 2-1 here in the second period. Solon wrestler is having some issues with the shoulder brace. He's got a neoprene shoulder brace on. I see maybe the Velcro. He's got to take some injury time if he's going to do it. We've got to run injury time if we're going to fix this. Okay, we're going to head back to the middle. Nick Holt's going to take down here in the third period. That was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. It's almost like a coach. As a coach myself, I don't know if I want to do that. There's some liability going on there if you crank on that shoulder the wrong way. Nick Holt in the down position here, trying to get up to a stand-up. They're going to go out of bounds. He's going to get a new start. Apparently the score clock, they don't like shutting the time off. They let about 3 seconds run down there. 2-1, Nick Holt ahead. And in that down position here, he's going to get the opportunity from that down position to hopefully pick himself up and escape. Trying to tripod up, trying to build a tripod, and his opponent dropping back to the ankle, getting him back down. Now Nick hitting that tripod again, kind of up on all fours. Opponent covers him back up again. 1:23 left now, on the edge of the mat, so got a feeling if anything shakes out too much here, Solon's gonna try and pull him out of bounds. There's stalling against Solon. Stall call against Solon. Boy, his shoulders, I don't know if it's the brace or if it's, yeah, now it's his brace that's kind of messed up. And Solon's going to go ahead and cut Nick Holt loose. So after giving up that stall call, he said, you know, if he comes up to his feet again, I don't want to give up another stalling call. So Nick Holt picks up the escape. He's up 3-1 now with 1:05 left in the third period. 3-1, here we go. Down to the final minute. Just got to make sure, love to see, there's Nick trying to shuck that collar tie. We got to look for Elliott Ryan coming out here pretty soon as well. Holt with the shot here on the edge of the map. And they go out of bounds. And 45 seconds left. Holt ahead 3-1. And we got to have Elliot Ryan coming up here any second now on. We got Elliot starting now. Elliot Ryan on one of the mats here, trying to keep an eye on Nick Holt. Mat number 7, Elliot Ryan, so we got to look to the opposite corner. Elliot Ryan stepping into the middle right now. 28 seconds here in Nick Holt's mats. There's a shot by Solon, and Nick easily kind of sidesteps that. Elliot Ryan on the mat, 41-9. He's wrestling Cole Bennett of ADM, and ADM gets the first shot attempt. They go out of bounds. So 1:41 left in Elliot Ryan's match in that very first period. 3-1 now, 10 seconds left, and Nick Holt's just got to make sure we don't get him anywhere near. Nick Holt picks up a stall call, but that's not going to have any bearing on the rest of the match. A couple shots by Solon. Nick Holt with the win. So Nick Holt goes ahead, moves forward in the bracket. Elliot Ryan still on his feet with 1:20 left. There's a shot by ADM. Gets in on the single leg. Elliot Ryan goes to the whizzer. Gets back up to his feet. Good defense by Elliot Ryan. Nice whizzer on that single leg by ADM. So Nick Holt with the win, 3-1 over Dylan Diltz. And Elliot Ryan down to 108 left in his match. And they go out of bounds again. 1:01, 1 minute, 1 second left in Elliot Ryan's first period. First period at 182. Nick Holt with the 3-1 win. Holt moves forward. So we had a win for Jake Jewell, a win for Nick Holt. Drew Davis a tough match, a loss in that first round. Elliot Ryan on the mat right now. Down to 45 seconds left, no points scored. Against a ranked opponent like this, Elliot Ryan going this tough on his feet, that's a good place to be. Keeps us in the game, gives us a chance to win, because we're going to win on that, down on that mat. The mat wrestling of Elliot Ryan is a lot of fun to watch. Be curious to see if ADM had a chance to scope that out. ADM with the single leg, and thankfully it happened over by the head table. He might have been able to pull that in a little bit had he had a little more room, but referee takes him out of bounds, 20 seconds. So ADM's been in on single legs a few times on Elliot. There's Elliot with an outside single leg. Good job by him. Trying to drop down to that outside single leg. Never really got down to his knees or got in trouble or got in a bad position on it. Down to 3 seconds, and I think these guys are going to let that happen. So end of the first period, Elliot Ryan. No points scored in the first period here at 182. And Elliot Ryan wrestling the number 5 rated Cole Bennett. And Bennett 35-3 on the season. He's a junior. And I'm always, there's Elliot Ryan with the crossface. And he's up over top. See what he can get. He's got it hooked up, doesn't he? Oh, he had it. He had it. He's still behind the knee. Oh, ADM, though. Good defense by ADM. He gets hand control.
His arm was there and it slipped.
Yep, it did. It slipped over top of his head on that cradle. You don't see that very often, but that's when you get to this level, you got to be perfect. You got to be perfect with your pinning combos, and Elliot just slipped over top the head a little bit. ADM took hand control and squared up and faced Elliot and got the escape. So we're going to have to do something on our feet here. 1-0 score, both wrestlers on their feet, and there's 1:30 left in the second period here at 182. There's a shot by ADM. Gets in on our single leg over on... Oh, Elliot kicks over the whizzer. Oh, he threw the whizzer over top. He hip tossed him off the whizzer, and he got 2. Oh, I thought he had him on his back there for a little bit.
He did. He had a little bit.
Yeah, oh, that was close. Nice off the whizzer. Elliot Ryan steps the hips through and gets a little hip toss and picks up the takedown. And
great whizzer. Great whizzer.
Yeah. Went out of bounds. I thought maybe we had lost control there on the edge of the mat, but out of bounds. So Elliot Ryan still in that top position, 105, and ADM wrestler got to his feet right away. Oh, Elliot got stretched out. He was laying on his side there, and that's going to be Cole Bennett. I don't know how he has not gotten behind. Oh, Elliot got a hold of a leg. That's good for us. Oh, and he's going to pull it back in and regain control. No points awarded. That was, I don't know how Bennett did not score on that. I think we're going to get an escape here on the edge, right? Yeah, loss of control. So 36 seconds left. Elliot Ryan gives up the escape here in the second period. Now this is a fun period to watch. 2-2 score right now. ADM with 2 escapes, and Elliott Ryan with the takedown off of his opponent's shot. Bennett got into the single leg, and Elliott Ryan with the tough whizzer. Whizzers down hard, and then threw the hips underneath and gave him a little ride on the hips and picked up the takedown. Boy, Elliott Ryan almost slides around that shot and picks up a takedown on the edge. 16 seconds left. Elliott's had an answer to every single one of Bennett's shots. Doing a good job on his feet. 15 seconds now. 2-2 score here. Getting ready to wrap up the second period. Bennett heavy on the head, kind of coming to the head. And Elliott Ryan's got that slowed down a little bit now. 4 seconds. And the second period wraps up. Elliott goes with some head taps as well. And Elliott Ryan gets his choice, and he's going to go down. All right. Let's see what Elliott can do in the bottom position. 2-2 score here in the second period. Wrestling number 5 rated wrestler from ADM. And is that the top that got the caution? That's two of them. Yeah, it is. That's two against ADM, so that's 2 cautions. Next time he false starts off the whistle like that, and that's any position on their feet, down position, top position, doesn't matter. That's going to be a point. ADM a lift and return. Boy, that referee was hustling to watch for locked hands pretty good. I don't know if he saw something there, or assistant referee could have jumped in on that too. Elliott Ryan in the bottom position right now. 1 minute and 40 seconds left in the third period. We got to get out of this bar armor tab. There's Elliott Ryan onto his feet, hand control, and gets a 1. So he's ahead, 3-2. Minute 30 left. A lot of wrestling left here in this third period. What do you think? ADM slowing down a little bit? Maybe we are too. There's a shot, little push shove out of bounds for ADM. So Bennett, ranked number 5. Elliott Ryan giving him everything he handled right now. A 3-2 score. A minute 17 left in the third period. Here's where Elliott just tough collar tie and tie him up a little bit. Oh, let's see. Oh, now we got a double overhook. Double over the arms there a little bit for Bennett. I didn't know if he was going to go for the throw or what. Now he goes to a Russian tie, trying to pull Elliott Ryan forward. A shot off the edge for ADM. No, his outside leg went out of bounds. Ooh, that was close. That was close. Did he have that whizzer in there? So maybe it wouldn't have been automatic. Coaches were getting pretty excited for ADM over there. 55 seconds left. 3-2 score. Elliott Ryan on top. Yeah, there we go. Elliott, keep hand control. Hand control, a tough collar tie. Tie things up. 40 seconds. 40 seconds. They're going to head back to the middle. ADM kind of walking back to the middle. I like where Elliott's at right now. He's on this edge. That's fine. We can stay on the edge there. Oh, Elliott. Oh, ADM goes over under Elliott's head and throws him to his back and pins him. Oh, ADM came heavy on the head. We reacted by popping our head up. He came right over under the arm, over the head, and drops us for the fall. Oh, so close.
25 seconds away.
25 seconds left in the match. That one hurts a little bit. So Elliott Ryan goes into the consolation side. Where? Shoot, I was going to see who he was going to wrestle. It's either Erickson of Minneapolis or Drew Durant of Central DeWitt, and we certainly wrestled Central DeWitt before, and I know we've had wins against him, so we'll see what happens. Take a little deep breath there. So here we go. We got Matt McMillan stepping on the mat. Can't think about that one too long. We got Matt McMillan stepping on the mat here at 195. And here we go. McMillan and Seth Maitland of Creston Orient Maxburg. Matt down there ready to go, waiting for a leg band. And we got Matt down there. I haven't seen the Creston wrestler yet. kind of weird. Usually everybody's chomping at the bit to get to the mats, and oh, there he is, just showing up, just getting to the mat there. So Matt McMillan and Seth Maitland of Creston Orient Maxburg on the mat right now, and we're getting ready to go here at 195. So far Independence 2 wins by Nick Holt and Jake Jewell, and that was a tough loss for Elliot Ryan. It's kind of a little bit like Seth House at that Clarion Goldfield Dow's duel. Seth House was wrestling a number 4 rated guy and just doing an outstanding job throughout the match and got caught right at the end, and that's exactly what happened to Elliot Ryan there. Oh, Matt McMillan now fighting out of a single leg. Creston Orient Maxburg pops the elbow up, drops down to a single leg, trying the trip. Matt's doing a good job of maintaining his balance. 20 seconds down in this first period. Matt kicks out of it and squares back up. Good job. Good defense by Matt McMillan. Let's see if Matt can go forward now. 1:37 left in the first period. Both wrestlers back on their feet in the middle of the mat. So number 3 and number 5 on the mat right here at 195 pounds. Creston and Independence. Matt McMillan out there. Minute 10 left now. No real shots taken after that initial shot by Creston, the Creston wrestler. Matt McMillan with a little half shot there, kind of a little duck walk forward to see if something emerged out of that. Kind of forehead to forehead right now, tying up arms, and down to under 45 seconds now. 45 seconds in the first period. Once again, no shots since that very first one by Creston. And Creston had our leg up in the air, had that single leg up in the air, and had an opportunity for the trip, but Matt kept good balance and then kicked out of it at the last minute there on the edge of the mat. 23 seconds now, and go out of bounds. New start back in the middle. No points scored so far. Be ready on the whistle here. 20 seconds now. Let's see. There's got to be an angle in there somewhere. Maitland with the arm drag, attempted an arm drag. McMillan pretty easily just kind of steps right on by that. 5 seconds left in the first period. And that's how it's going to wrap up the first period. Matt McMillan all tied up with Maitland of Creston Orient Maxburg, and hoping maybe Matt could win that flip and get that first escape. But Creston wins the flip, and he's going to go down here at the beginning of the second period. Let's see what Matt can do in this top position. Matt going to go with put the legs in. Not used to seeing that. McMillan kind of draped over top of the leg and cuts him loose. And so it's Maitland with the first point with the escape. Maitland of Creston, 51-3 on the season, a senior, and Matt McMillan 46-4. Number 3 versus number 5 here at 195. 1-0. They go out of bounds and are heading back to the middle. Minute 32 left in the second period. McMillan behind 1-0. Both wrestlers are up on their feet. Kind of been in the same position the whole time. McMillan takes a shot, tries to go forward, and Maitland kind of arm drags by a little bit, looking for an angle, an opportunity to get in on McMillan's legs, but nothing happening there. And they go out of bounds and head back to the middle. 1:05 left in the second period. Matt with a kind of a reach to that outside leg with his left arm. Boy, these guys they're just going to wait until the opportunity is about perfect, I think, to take that shot. They're not going to. Yeah, they know each other. Exactly right.
Twice in the last 2 years.
Yeah, this is a big, they know it's a big match. You got to get through this match. This is a semifinal type match. And nobody wants to make the mistake, essentially, is what it comes down to right now. 35 seconds. Maitland ahead 1-0 right now over McMillan. And We aren't going to see people cutting loose probably till about 30 seconds left in the match maybe. And really making things happen. Matt doing a good job on the collar tie, controlling his opponent's right hand. Maitland with the up over top of the head tries to pull Matt down. Pull that head down. Matt kind of hand on the forehead. Back to that forehead to forehead. A collar tie, forehead to forehead, and that's how the second period wraps up. 1-0 score. McMillan now going to go into that down position. So here we go, beginning of the third period. Matt McMillan in that down position. Creston tries to jump up over top, maybe for a little bit of a look at a cradle there, but there's nothing going there. McMillan gets the escape. So 1-1. It's going to come down to a takedown. Or maybe not. Maybe they're going to go all the way through. Matt's had a few overtime matches in his career. He's been willing to go double overtime and go into that 30-second riding cowboy. 1:33 left now. McMillan controlling his opponent's left arm, trying to throw it by there real quick and looking to see if his opponent will step with it, but nothing going. 1:28 to go out of bounds. New start back in the middle. 1-1. Both wrestlers with an escape. And same thing. Now Matt's just kind of forehead to forehead, controlling the tie, controlling the arm. But really Maitland's not since that very first shot, he really hasn't taken.
Neither one of them.
He hasn't really done much. The little kind of pushed the elbow by.
Call a double stall. Nobody's done anything.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. A double stall on both guys, but there's low single leg by McMillan. He's in on the leg. He's got it up in the air, the legs between his legs. Maitland with the whizzer. Matt just, he had that. Oh, I wish he could have.
Matt's got the stall call.
I wish Matt, he just gutted out, just squatted that. Just dropped the hips down and lifted that single leg up in the air. And I wish he would have turned him into the middle and just swept that thing out. But went out of bounds. But that was an opportunity. They both had their shot now. They both had their shot at scoring. Down to 33 seconds left. And push out of bounds and a new start.
Stalling on both of them now.
They did get a stall?
Yeah.
Okay. But it's on both, so it's kind of even up basically. But and in the final 23 seconds here, that's maybe not going to come into play. But like I said, they both had their shot. Maitland had a single leg up in the air. McMillan fought out of it. McMillan had a single leg, maybe not quite as good as what Maitland had, but Maitland was able to fight out of that. Matt can go back to that. That was a good low single leg. He's got to. Yeah, he's got to keep that ready to go again. And that's how it's gonna. Third period is gonna wrap up. They're all tied up 1-1. They're going overtime. And we got. I thought the assistant referee walking over the score table for something, but here we go. 57 seconds. Counting down, overtime here. Matt McMillan and Seth Maitland. Maitland number 3, McMillan number 5. Forehead to forehead, collar tie. McMillan tried to pull the head down, pushes him out of bounds. 41 seconds left here in overtime, tied up 1-1. It's going to come down to this takedown, or they're going to go ahead and go back down on the mat again. We'll see what happens. We're going to get into it. Thankfully, both these guys wrestled all day long yesterday too, so they both wrestled the same number of matches yesterday. So 25 seconds here in overtime, 1-1. McMillan tries to pull the head down, looking for an angle, but nothing there. Boy, both guys just solid positioning, not able to move each other where they want to be. And Maitland now with the little half shot out of bounds. 11 seconds. 11 seconds. Let's see what happens here. I think they're going to go the 30. Maitland's first step was backwards. I think they're going to go into this next round of overtime. And in the next round, we flip the coin. And it's going to be Maitland with his choice. He's going to go down. So we're going to go 2 30-second periods now. And we're going to start in this down position. So Maitland's going to get the first opportunity. McMillan in the top position. Creston coach, and he wants to stall after like 2 seconds. So here we go. There's the escape by Maitland. 18 seconds left. They're back on their feet now. Maitland picks up that escape. Both wrestlers on their feet now. 15 seconds. Oh, we're going to take this all the way. 9 seconds. There's a little motion there by Matt. 5 seconds left. No, there's nobody's going to. This doesn't have the feel anybody wants to take a shot. McMillan goes down. 2-1 score. This is the second of these overtime periods. These 30-second down on the mat periods. McMillan up to his feet. Hand control. Gets the escape. Need to get that ankle band out of there. Ankle band on the mat. I would hate. It's just silly things I'm thinking of right now. Somebody steps on that wrong. McMillan tries to drive that outside single. 12 seconds left. Same collar tie, forehead to forehead, and it's going to be Maitland with his choice here in this last 30-second Ride-'em Cowboy, because he got that first escape at the beginning. He's clearly going down. And here we go, 30 seconds. Matt McMillan, 30 seconds. He's just got to, tell you what, Matt, I think the only thing that's going to slow him down is he's got to slap those legs in. Maitland gets a tripod. He's up to his feet. McMillan trying to get hand control, get him out of bounds. Good job. 5 seconds down. He's got 25 seconds left. He's got to ride him out. He's got to ride him out this whole 30 seconds. There's an ankle. Cuts across to the chop. Now he's going claw. Going to drop him back. Good, good, good. Turn the hips, turn the hips. And we give up the reversal. I'll tell you what, that not a bad move by Matt, coming to that crab ride situation, trying to change it up a little bit. Lost the ankle, couldn't keep hand control, went to the crab ride, and just when he came back, couldn't get his hips slid back on top again. So took it all the way to the final overtime period. And McMillan with the loss to Maitland. And that sudden victory win for Maitland. Didn't want another tough one with Elliott Ryan and McMillan. 2 tough matches back to back there. So we got 3 wrestlers on the Consolation side. We got Drew Davis. We have Elliott Ryan and now Matt McMillan as well on that Consolation side. So they're going to have, each of those wrestlers is going to have one more match here tonight. And we're rolling back around. 106-pounders are getting called to the mat right now. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and let 95.3 know this. It's not such a big deal on the internet broadcast, but 95.3, I'm going to take a little bit of a break here, and we'll be back in, I would say, about 10 minutes. And I think that Drew Davis will be back on the mat. So we're finishing up some 285-pound matches. So about 10 minutes, Drew Davis should be back on the mat. So for our 95.3 listeners, 10 minutes. We'll be back with those 3 matches with Drew Davis and Elliott Ryan and Matt McMillan. So just a warning to 95.3, about 10 minutes, and we'll be back on the air and get Drew Davis's match, and we may even have a little break. After that match before we go on to 82 and 95. So tell you what, we're going to take a little break. And we'll be back in about 10 minutes with the second round, or actually first round consolation matches for Drew Davis, Elliott Ryan, and Matt McMillan. So don't go too far away. We will be back. Thanks a lot for listening, everyone.